This is the WWE NXT April 22, 2025 full show results video. The show started with a match between Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley vs Judgement Day for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and the result of this match was Judgement Day defeated Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley by pinfall with Oblivion from Liv Morgan on Gigi Dolan, retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Backstage, we see that Lexis King still hasn't gotten his NXT Heritage Cup back from Penn and Teller, and they says they will reappear the cup for him, but Penn informs him that his opponent will be a surprise. Ren Sinclair and Miles Bourne are chatting backstage when Dark State roll up to tell Miles that he's not a real shooter like Tavian is, and NQCC better just break up now and get it out of the way. J. Yvonne Evans rolls up, and that back and forth ends up in J. Yvonne and Miles booking a tag match against Dark State. Ricky Saints makes his entrance and gets on the mic and tells the crowd he loves them back and says he kicked off WrestleMania weekend with a bang by defending the title against thorn in his side all-ego Ethan Page. He made good on his promise to be the man around here, and it felt so good to do it against Page. Lexis King interrupts him and tells Ricky to hold his horses. He knows he just had a historic win, but he spent his whole weekend looking for his Heritage Cup because those clowns Penn and Teller made it disappear. Saints, like me, is confused why King is out here. Lexis says he's here to defend his title, and if Rick doesn't get out of here, he might set his sights on the NXT North American Championship. Saints says his mouth keeps writing checks his ass can't catch, and Lexis says he's just another bullshit artist trying to get over with these peons, but nobody actually likes him. King wants a title match next week, and he's willing to put the Heritage Cup on the line to get it. Ricky says he's a very special individual, and it's telling that he's doing this while he waits for his mystery opponent, and he's sure King already went to Ava Raine, so he's on for next week. Back from the commercial, we get earlier today footage of Hank and Tank and Sol Ruca and Zarya hanging out and celebrating when Thea Hale comes in at about an 11 and says if anybody but her won, she's happy at Sol. Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, and Fatal Influence all roll up to tell Hale that none of them are happy she's back, which seems unnecessarily mean. Then we saw a match between Lexis King vs Noam Dar for the NXT Heritage Cup, and the result of this match was Noam Dar defeated Lexis King by pinfall with a rolling back elbow, becoming your new NXT Heritage Cup champion. Back from the commercial, Roxanne Perez is interviewed backstage, and she says she ruined Stephanie Vaquer's match yesterday because that was her moment, and if she's not happy about it, she should do something about it. The next match happened between Fallon Henley vs Thea Hale, and the result of this match was Thea Hale defeated Fallon Henley by submission with the double wrist lock. Back from the commercial, Oba Femi makes his entrance and gets on the mic and says he did exactly what he set out to do at Stand and Deliver, and he crushed the dreams of J. Yvonne Evans and Trick Williams and set them on fire. But he does regret calling J. Yvonne a child, because the young OG is much further along than he gave him credit for, and his moment isn't here yet, but his future is bright. Trick Williams makes his entrance then, and says he's not going out like that, because every time it comes to getting what's his, Oba finds the easy way out, and he only won because he pinned J. Yvonne, so he wants his title back. Femi tries to put his foot down, and Trick insists that this is his NXT and he's here for what is his, and he's tired of seeing all these bums in the back get theirs ahead of him. Then comes TNA champion Joe Hendry and says Trick Williams has changed, no longer soaking in cheers but rather in self-pity, and he proved what happens when you listen to the fans, and he did it at WrestleMania. Trick says he had his 5 minutes and he's an outsider and he doesn't belong, so he better take his title and go on back to where he belongs. Joe says he belongs here because he belonged at WrestleMania, and your TNA World Heavyweight Champion has some business to discuss with the NXT Champion. Then Hendry and Femi send Williams packing. We get a video package of Luca Cruzifino and Channing Stacks Lorenzo meeting in the desert. Luca lets Stacks have it about betraying the Don, and then Lorenzo asks if he knows why he brought him here, and Cruzifino realizes what a mistake he's made right as we cut to break. Back from the commercial, Sol Ruca and Zarya are interviewed, and Sol talks about how hard everybody worked in the ladder match, and Judgement Day roll up to try and sow discontent, but Ruca cuts her off and tells them to walk on before she adds a third title to her resume. Trick Williams rampages backstage so hard that he makes the feed cut out, and we hear Ava Raine try and fail to talk sense into him. The next match happened between Dark State vs J. Yvonne Evans and Miles Bourne, and the result of this match was Dark State defeated J. Yvonne Evans and Miles Bourne by pinfall with the double team spinebuster. Sean Spears is in Ava Raine's office saying he values her time and he's just looking out for his friends. Raine says she gets it, and Yashiki Inamura ambles up to say his time is coming to an end and he's going back to Noah, and he wants to thank her and offer his respect. He feels bad leaving Josh Briggs in the lurch, and Josh rolls up. Ava offers them one last shot, next week, against Hank and Tank. Josh asks Yashiki how he got that done and he straightens up and his face clears and he says it's an old Japanese secret. Back from the commercial, Tony D'Angelo meets with Adriana Rizzo and admits he's gonna have to fight Stax. She tells a story about Stax teaching her to fight and that she told him she'd always be loyal. She wants a sit-down with him, but Tony says Channing declared war and he doesn't know what he's willing to do. She's packing, but she can't go home, it's not safe and he needs her to hide out in a safe house until this thing blows over. She asks if he's sure and he says it's gonna be alright, and they hug. Ricky Saints is interviewed backstage and he's thrilled for Noam Dar because he knows what it's like to be hurt and forgotten, and he's a man of his word, so he's still gonna defend his title against Lexis King. All ego Ethan Page appears, the interviewer books it, and Lexis King blindsides Saints and leaves him laying, promising to take his title from him. Back from the commercial we get a video package of Andre Chase opening up a metal briefcase and pulling a Chase U sweater out of it and announcing that they're back. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's Championship, and the result of this match was Stephanie Vaquer defeated Roxanne Perez by pinfall with SBB, retaining the NXT Women's Championship. Post-match, Julia makes her entrance to stare Stephanie Vaquer down while Jordynne Grace watches from the sidelines and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's NXT show? Tell me in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe the channel for more updates and video, and thanks for watching.